Welcome to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive. Today, we're getting straight into it, looking at the upcoming Women's Rugby World Cup 2025. Specifically, we're unpacking 5 bold predictions from a pretty interesting recent Ruck article. Our mission here is to explore some genuinely fascinating insights, some potential storylines for what really promises to be an electrifying tournament,
Yeah.
especially with it being here on home soil.
Yeah, exactly. And that Ruck piece, it came out August 7th, 2025, so just recently. It offers a really sharp take, I think, just ahead of the kickoff on Friday, August 22nd. With the final at Twickenham's Allianz Stadium on September 27th, it's a great way to sort of cut through the noise and look at some key potential narratives.
Absolutely. Spot on. And look, before we properly dig into these predictions, if you want the sharpest analysis, all the news from rugby, make sure you subscribe to Rugby Obsession wherever you get your deep dives. You really won't want to miss our coverage as this whole tournament unfolds. Okay, so let's kick things off. The big one. The Ruck article definitely didn't shy away from this, England to win it all. Now, this feels like more than just, hopeful home crowd noise. The article suggests England are on a very specific mission. 2 finals heartbreaks. What's the core argument for them finally doing it on home turf?
Well, what's really compelling, I think, is how it's rooted in England's strategy. It's been years in the making. The article highlights how this team has been deliberately built. You've got this perfect blend of battle-hardened experience, think Zoe Aldcroft, leaders like her, and then this explosive energy from younger talent. It's calculated,
Yeah.
not just a random collection of great players.
Right. And it's not just the talent, is it? The article points to a big tactical evolution. Can you maybe unpack that a bit? What specific shifts have they made? How did that make them so formidable now?
Yeah, it's a crucial point. Their tactical game has evolved. It's not just versatility for its own sake. The Ruck piece actually details how they've refined their attack shape systematically to break down opposition rucks much faster. We've seen that in recent games. And that creates quicker, cleaner ball for the wide players. It's a deliberate shift designed to unleash that pace they have out wide. So yeah, they can still grind you down with that powerful pack, definitely. But now they can switch instantly to these devastating wide attacks. Makes them incredibly hard to predict. And depth. Crucially, squad depth. The article really emphasizes that. It'll be vital for injuries in a tough tournament like this.
And that home advantage, that must play a huge part psychologically, too. No big trips, that wave of support, 8 cities, then Twickenham. That's got to be a massive boost.
Oh, without a doubt. Cutting out the travel fatigue, having that huge home crowd. It's a significant edge. Mentally. Now look, giants like New Zealand, France, Australia, they're serious contenders. It's absolutely not going to be a walkover. But England, according to the article anyway, they seem to have really learned from those past finals losses. They just appear more prepared mentally and strategically than ever before. To get that trophy, first time since 2014, there's a real point to prove there, and that can be, well, incredibly powerful.
Okay. Let's shift gears. Prediction 2 might surprise some listeners, especially given the U.S. team's passionate support. USA eliminated in the pool stage. That feels, quite tough for such a dedicated team. What exactly does the article point to as the reasons?
It is stark, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think it just underlines how brutal the competition is at this level. The USA Eagles, they undeniably have powerful ball carriers. Some really sharp backs, too, like Ilona Maher. Remember, she had that stint with Bristol Bears in the PWR. That's the Premiership Women's Rugby over here. But the Ruck article identifies their biggest challenge as consistency.
Yeah.
And maintaining structure, sustained structure, at the very highest level. It's not about flashes of individual brilliance, which they definitely have. It's about doing it for the full 80 minutes against those really organized elite defenses.
And the pool draw, well, it hasn't done them many favors, has it? England and Australia in the same pool. Feels a bit rough.
It certainly feels that way for some teams.
Yeah.
It's a brutal draw. Being lumped in with both England and Australia nations with, frankly, much deeper professional squads, more collective international caps, it makes getting out of the pool incredibly difficult. And while it's a tough pill to swallow for a nation that's clearly improving, the Ruck piece suggests something interesting, that an early exit could actually be a turning point, maybe the push needed for USA Rugby to really ramp up investment in the women's game, build that foundation for long-term success.
Right, turning a negative into a potential positive long-term.
Well,
Okay, now flipping to an individual player, prediction number 3. Ellie Kildunne is the tournament's top try scorer. Anyone who's watched her knows she's one of the most exciting players anywhere right now. That pace, that instinct for space, just electric.
Yeah, and what's insightful here is how England's game plan actually feeds into that. It enables her. Their forwards are designed to be relentless, wear down defenses, create fatigue systematically. Once that space opens up, Boom, the ball goes wide to Kildunne. And honestly, she needs just a tiny bit of space to make something happen. When she hits top speed, defenders are often just clutching at air. The article also notes her tactical development over the last year or so. She's smarter now, knows when to hold her width, draw defenders, or when to cut inside and exploit a channel. That awareness, plus the raw speed, makes her even more dangerous.
Yeah, her form for Quins coming into this has been absolutely sensational. But yeah, she'll face some serious competition. There are some incredible wingers and fullbacks across all the top teams, that's for sure. Okay, before we get into the final two predictions, one that might sting a bit for a top-ranked team, and one championing maybe an unsung hero, just a quick reminder for you. If you're finding these insights interesting, hit that subscribe button for Rugby Obsession. We bring you fresh perspectives, top analysis, and you don't want to miss out.
Definitely. And we genuinely want to know what you think. What stands out to you about these predictions so far? Or maybe you've got a bold prediction of your own for the Women's Rugby World Cup 2025.
Yeah, we'd really love to hear your thoughts. Let us know how you see this tournament unfolding. All right, moving on. Prediction 4. This one is quite surprising, especially given their ranking. Canada to underperform despite a stacked squad. They're ranked second in the world. How does the article square that high ranking with predicting underperformance?
It raises a really important point, doesn't it? The difference between a strong team on paper and one truly built for the relentless intensity of knockout rugby. The Ruck article fully expects Canada to, comfortably get through their pool. They've got Fiji, Scotland, Wales. Should be okay there. But the critical challenge, it argues, comes later. In those knockout stages, Canada has a genuinely strong setup, good amateur and university systems producing talent. Excellent talent. However, the article points to a key difference. They don't quite have that full embedded professional infrastructure like their biggest rivals, New Zealand, England. They've invested heavily. Their players get consistent, high-level professional games week in, week out.
So it's less about individual talent, maybe more about how that talent holds up under the constant grind of a World Cup, against teams conditioned differently.
Precisely. Exactly that. In those high-pressure knockout games, tiny margins, cumulative fatigue, squad depths under pressure, these things really become significant factors. The article suggests Canada might struggle to maintain peak performance right through the tournament against fully pro outfits, especially if injuries hit. It's less about their raw potential, more about how the sustained demands might expose any gaps in the professional setup compared to rivals who've maybe closed those gaps.
Okay, makes sense. Our fifth and final bold prediction then. This one focuses on an individual who, maybe for many, is a bit of an unsung hero. England's Zoe Aldcroft, crowned player of the tournament. She feels like exactly the kind of player who shines brightest in World Cups, doesn't she? Not always grabbing headlines, but utterly vital.
Yeah, and what's really compelling about the Ruck's argument for Aldcroft is how it pushes back against the usual flashy try bias in these awards. She's not a winger scoring length of the field tries.
Yeah.
She's just everywhere, all the time. The article paints this picture of a player who's relentlessly stealing lineouts, making huge tackles, winning crucial turnovers, carrying with real purpose. Her work rate is just phenomenal. And on a team packed with attacking stars, she's like the quiet engine room, the leader holding it all together.
So it's that consistency, reliability, the sheer volume of work maybe that sets her apart, even over players who look more spectacular.
Exactly. Whether England are cruising or under the cosh, she delivers. Consistently. She's the kind of player whose impact you notice more the closer you watch. Always do the hard yards, always making the right call under pressure, really high rugby IQ. The article strongly suggests that if England get to that final, Aldcroft will have been central to every key moment. So yeah, while voters often lean towards the exciting tries, the prediction is bold. The player doing all that unseen vital work could realistically get the top individual prize, especially if England lift the cup.
Wow. Okay, what a fascinating set of predictions to mull over for the Women's Rugby World Cup 2025. Just to quickly recap those 5 bold predictions from Ruck: England to win it all, USA facing that pool stage exit, Ellie Kildunne as top try scorer, Canada maybe underperforming despite their ranking, and Zoe Aldcroft potentially player of the tournament.
It really leaves you with a question, doesn't it? Something for you, the listener, to think about as we get closer. How much will that home advantage really matter for England, especially given those past final heartbreaks? Or maybe what other unseen work players like Aldcroft might emerge as absolutely critical for their teams? Who are those players for other nations? Absolutely something to ponder as we head into the tournament. And speaking of heading into the World Cup, Don't miss a single bit of our analysis. Please do remember to subscribe to Rugby Obsession to keep right up with all the action as it happens. Thank you so much for tuning into this Rugby Obsession deep dive. We really look forward to you listening to our next episode.